The first thing I saw when I turned into my driveway was my mother sitting alone on the front steps, eating dinner in the rain. She wasn't under the porch roof. She wasn't holding an umbrella. She was simply sitting there in her faded blue sweater, her silver hair plastered to her forehead, a plate balanced carefully on her knees. My heart stopped. I slammed the car into park and ran toward her. "Mom." She looked up and smiled. That smile broke something inside me. "You're home early, Daniel." I dropped my keys and crouched beside her. "Why are you sitting out here? Where's Susan?" My mother glanced toward the house. Then she quietly said, "Your wife asked me to eat outside." I stared at her. Rainwater dripped from her chin. She said I was making the dining room smell like medicine. For a moment, I couldn't speak. My mother had raised me after my father died. She had worked 2 jobs. Packed lunches when there was barely enough food in the refrigerator. And once walked 6 miles through a snowstorm. Because she couldn't afford a taxi to pick me up from school. And now she was eating cold meatloaf in the rain because my wife didn't want her inside. I helped Mom stand. "Come inside." She hesitated. "Daniel," Susan said. I don't care what Susan said. I opened the front door. Then I heard something. A faint sound. Like someone crying. I froze. It wasn't coming from the kitchen. It was coming from upstairs. "Mom," I whispered, "stay here." She grabbed my arm. "Daniel, please don't fight with her." I looked into my mother's tired eyes. "I need to know what's happening." I climbed the stairs slowly. The crying became louder. I followed the sound to our bedroom. The door was half open. And what I saw stopped me cold. Susan was sitting on the floor beside our bed. Her expensive dress was soaked. Her makeup was running down her face. And in front of her was an old cardboard box. Inside it were photographs, medical papers, unpaid bills, and a stack of letters. She looked up at me. "Daniel." I expected anger. Instead, I saw fear. "What happened?" Susan wiped her face. "I didn't want you to find out this way." I stepped inside. "What is this?" She picked up one of the letters. "Your mother has been hiding something from you." My stomach tightened. "What?" Susan handed me the letter. It was from a hospital. My mother's name was printed at the top. The letter said she needed surgery. Soon. Very soon. And the estimated cost was more money than my mother had ever had in her life. I looked at Susan. "How long have you known?" 3 months. 3 months. She nodded. "She made me promise not to tell you." I couldn't understand. "Why would she do that?" Susan's voice cracked. "Because she knew you were already struggling." I stared at the papers. Then I noticed something else. Bank statements. Susan's bank statements. Thousands of dollars had been withdrawn. Month after month. "What is this?" She lowered her head. "I sold my jewelry." I looked at her in disbelief. "Your jewelry?" "The necklace my grandmother left me. My wedding ring from my first marriage. My designer bags. Everything I could sell." I shook my head. "Why?" Susan began crying harder. "Because your mother refused to let you know she was sick." I felt the room spinning. "But why did you make her eat outside?" Susan covered her face. "She wouldn't come inside." "What?" She was embarrassed. Susan took a breath. "Your mother thought you would feel guilty if you knew she needed surgery. She kept saying she didn't want to become a burden." I sat down. My mind returned to the image of Mom sitting in the rain. I had assumed the worst. I had believed my wife had humiliated her. But there was more. Susan whispered. "Tonight I told her she needed to eat because she hadn't eaten all day. She refused to come inside because she thought you'd see the hospital papers." She pointed toward the kitchen. "I put the plate outside. Because I thought she would at least eat if I gave her some privacy." I closed my eyes. The rain outside suddenly sounded louder. I thought you hated her. Susan looked at me. I love your mother. Those 5 words destroyed every angry thought I'd carried upstairs. I stood and walked downstairs. Mom was still sitting by the door. But the plate was empty. I knelt in front of her. Why didn't you tell me? She looked away. Tell you what? About the surgery. Her lips trembled. I knew you'd try to pay for it. Of course I would. You've got a daughter. You've got a mortgage. You've got responsibilities. You're my mother. She smiled sadly. That doesn't mean I want to take your life apart. I took her hands. You spent your whole life putting mine together. She finally broke down. I was afraid. I pulled her into my arms. She cried against my shoulder like she had been waiting years for permission. Behind us, Susan stood quietly. Then she walked toward us. I owe you an apology, she said. Mom looked up. Susan knelt beside her. I should have told Daniel. I should never have let you sit out here alone. Mom shook her head. You were trying to help. I was trying to protect you. Susan reached for her hand. And I failed at doing it the right way. Mom squeezed her fingers. Then something unexpected happened. She pulled Susan into the hug. I watched my mother and my wife hold each other while rain tapped against the windows. That night, we sat around the kitchen table. For the first time in months, nobody pretended everything was fine. We talked. Really talked. About money. About fear. About pride. About the terrible habit people have of suffering. Quietly because they don't want to inconvenience the people they love. The next morning, I called the hospital. We found a payment program. Friends helped. My church community helped. Susan's co-workers organized a fundraiser. Even people we barely knew contributed. One man sent $20 with a note that simply said, "Everyone deserves another chance." Mom's surgery was scheduled for 6 weeks later. Those 6 weeks changed our family. Susan visited Mom every afternoon. They cooked together. They argued about television shows. They laughed. And sometimes, when I came home from work, I'd find them sitting on the porch drinking coffee. No rain. No cold plates. Just 2 women who had nearly lost each other because neither wanted to admit she was scared. The surgery was successful. When Mom woke up, she looked at me through sleepy eyes. Did you pay for all this? I smiled. No. She frowned. Then who did? I looked toward the waiting room. Susan was asleep in a chair, exhausted. Your family did. Mom followed my eyes. Tears filled hers. My family. Yes. She smiled. Then I guess I'm richer than I thought. Months later, the 3 of us were sitting at the same kitchen table. Mom was stronger. Susan was laughing. And I was watching them argue over who had made the best apple pie. I remembered that rainy evening. The plate. The cold food. My mother's wet hair. And the terrible conclusion I had jumped to before knowing the truth. That night taught me something I would never forget. Sometimes kindness doesn't look beautiful. Sometimes it looks awkward. Sometimes it looks like a woman selling everything she owns in secret. Sometimes it looks like an old mother hiding her pain because she doesn't want to burden her son. And sometimes love looks like sitting in the rain. Not because someone has abandoned you, but because you are desperately trying to protect the people you love from your own suffering. I reached across the table and took both their hands. Mom smiled. Susan squeezed mine. And for the first time in a long time, our family wasn't perfect. We were simply together. And I realized that was better than perfect. It was human.